What's good, R&B squad? This is out of Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If you are new to this family, we don't believe that you're here by accident. Welcome. We're happy to have you, and Jesus is, of course, always happier. So, the word that I have today comes from something that the Lord showed me in the Spirit and some things He explained to me regarding what I saw in the Spirit. And as I relate the details, you will know whether or not this message is for you. And as per usual, you guys know how we do it here: eat the meat, spit out the bone, take what's for you, and leave the rest. So now in the Spirit, I saw this couple. And what stood out to me about this couple was that they were really excited. You could feel the excitement reverberating in the room that they were in. They were in this little room, and it was just the two of them. Well, with me, of course, but they couldn't see me. They didn't know that I was there. So they were in this little room by themselves in private, and I felt their excitement about being with each other. And initially, I thought that that excitement only had to do with them being in each other's presence, but the Lord showed me later on that it went deeper than that. So while I'm looking at them and they're all googly eyed, smiling at each other and whatnot, they leave the room and they go outside. They walk out of the room, and I follow them to see where they're going. So now they're not in this little room anymore where they're in private. They're now out in the open, and I could see people moving around them. And they got into this car, and the guy gets into the driver's seat. And as they drive away, I notice the license plate, and the license plate says outside. So in very bold letters on the license plate was the word outside. And then I came away from what I was seeing in the Spirit. And the Lord pointed me in the direction of the definition of the word outside. And He showed me a definition that I have never seen before. So I'm going to share that definition with you guys. To be outside is to not be within the boundaries or confines of a place. Let me read that again. To be outside is to not be within the boundaries or confines of a place. So the Lord helped me to understand that these people were excited because they were no longer restricted. There were no restrictions and boundaries between them. There was nothing confining them to a particular space. They were now able to move around freely. They were literally outside. So now, for some of you, or for all of you rather, who this is for, you and the person that God has called to be your God ordained partner, the two of you had something that was restricting you from moving around, something that was restricting you from moving forward, something that was causing the two of you to, yes, maybe you interacted, but it was confined to a certain level. Yes, you knew about your feelings for each other, but it was confined to a certain level. So you weren't able to move beyond that boundary. And in some instances, there was an actual barrier between the two of you preventing you from coming together. So the Lord showed me that these people were excited, and that they were excited because they were no longer restricted by boundaries. And that is what is going to happen between you and your God ordained partner, for those of you whom this word is for. You are no longer going to be restricted or constrained by anything, by your circumstances, by anybody who is interfering from the outside, and so on and so forth. And for others of you, what it looks like is that the two of you know you have feelings for each other, and you know you're for each other, but you could not be public about your feelings for each other. You could not be public about the fact that you're a couple, because the Lord had the two of you be private about it. And during this time that the Lord kept the two of you hidden, y'all have some haters, some people who were minding y'all's business, so they weren't even supposed to know what was going on between the two of you, but they had an idea because they were being nosy. And they have been sitting there gloating. They've been thinking, well, what kind of couple are they? What kind of relationship is that? They don't even go nowhere. He don't even take her out. She don't even introduce him to nobody that she knows. What kind of relationship is that? They don't even post to social media. And they were just sitting there gloating, thinking that as long as the two of you were not being public about your relationship, then that means it wasn't going anywhere. And here's the thing. The very thing that these people were talking about behind your backs, they're not even ready to see it happen. See, they were taunting y'all, throwing around the fact that the two of you are not public, that you don't do public couple things, thinking that If your relationship were serious, you would have. But when the tables turn and you begin to be public about your love, these people are not going to be able to handle it. They're not going to be able to stand seeing the two of you being risen up as a power couple for the kingdom. They're not going to be able to handle that. You know that saying, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it? That's exactly the position that they're going to be in. When you guys do go public, which you will very shortly, because the Lord showed it to me, they're not going to be ready for it. It's going to really knock the wind out of them. So, the message is, guys, those of you who have been in situations with your person where you were confined, you are no longer within that confinement. You can now move around freely. You can now explore your relationship freely. And for those of you who had to keep your relationship hidden, God is getting ready for the big reveal. So I hope that this message blessed someone. I love you guys. I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me. Take care.